that role, I get to lift up the voices of individuals with disabilities and those who care for them. And we're here today to celebrate a pretty significant win. $354.8 million in state and federal funding to provide more resources for home and community-based services. This will help both raise the wages of DSPs and begin the process of addressing the long emergency waiting list. It has been a priority of the IDA community to fight for this additional funding for quite some time, and it has been wonderful to stand alongside Governor Shapiro in that same fight through the legislative process. I've been energized by the enthusiasm of so many who I see here today, without whom this would not have been possible. Folks who believe in the fundamental truth that no matter who you are, you should have the supports and services you need to live a successful life here in Pennsylvania, and that care work is valuable work, and so DSPs should be compensated accordingly. Freedom for people with disabilities is an illusion if we don't have those supports that allow us to access our communities, to work jobs, to worship, to enjoy recreation. And with the passage of this year's budget, we have made significant progress to what our governor likes to call real freedom. And while we still have further to go, both for individuals with disabilities and for senior citizens, I'm proud of the wins we've accomplished so far and look forward to continuing to work with the Shapiro administration to accomplish many more. And with that, I'm honored to introduce Mary Sauter, the Executive Director of BARC Developmental Services.
Great job, Rep. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Representative. Appreciate that. My name is Mary Sauter, and I am the Executive Director of BARC Developmental Services. And we are a nonprofit organization in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and we provide services and supports for children and adults with intellectual disabilities and autism. And we were grateful and very happy to welcome the governor and Secretary Arkush and Deputy Secretary Ahrens to one of our facilities in April to sort of kick off the advocacy effort to get this budget passed. And it's great to be back here to see it come to fruition. And we appreciate the governor's support, the legislator's support for this historic times. How we'll see it at BARC Developmental Services is assisting with our workforce crisis, because we need to hire more direct care staff, as you were mentioning. And we want to make sure that we can support every Pennsylvanian and everybody in Bucks County, and other IDA providers want to do the same, who have the funding, and we need the staff to do it. I'm very proud to have a couple of our DSPs here with us, standing here with us today. We need to recruit and retain more DSP staffs, and this will make a big difference, that we can bring on more staff, we can bring more of our individuals back to our facilities, get them out into the community, and provide that care that's so desperately needed for this vulnerable population. The other part of the bill that will really help is the waiting list. It will address so many Pennsylvanians who need the services and need the funding, and we're so excited that we can start welcoming them into services by providing funding for them. So, very short message thanking the governor, thanking the legislator for this funding. It will make a big difference, and we know there's more work to come, as you mentioned, and we look forward to standing and doing whatever we can as a provider agency to help it, but we're so grateful for it. It's going to make an impact to a lot of Pennsylvanians, so we thank you again. And I'm very excited to introduce one of the folks that we support at BARC Developmental Services, who'd love to tell you just a few things about what he likes about BARC and what his staff mean to him. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Matt Beckman.
Yeah, Matt.
Right, Matt.
You got this, buddy. Good job, Matt.
Thank you.
This is a big darn honor for me to be around a lot of people today. So Governor Shapiro, thank you for what you have done for the USA. Keep going. Keep fighting for us, and keep this going, man. We need it. And I also want to thank all the Special Olympians, especially the people from Philadelphia County, because without Governor Shapiro, none of us would be here. So please clap for the Governor Shapiro and tell him that we all are happy to be here, man. We all are happy for you. I'm proud to be here, man.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
Great job. Hey, everybody. This is a good day. I want to say I'm so happy that Matt is here, and I'm so happy that all the Special Olympians are here, the athletes are here, their parents are here, the coaches are here, and I am thrilled to welcome all of you to the governor's residence. I want to begin by sending special and warm and loving regards from my wife, our First Lady, Lori Shapiro, who's so sorry she couldn't be here today, but is just a huge advocate for the Special Olympics and for all of you. So Lori wanted me to send her love to everyone here. And I want to say a special thanks to Representative Jess Benham, who is with us today. She has been a stalwart advocate. She has broken down barriers just by virtue of her presence in a room, and then she smashed through the next barrier by virtue of just how extraordinarily talented and dedicated she is in the House. And we would not be here today but for the leadership of Representative Benham. Thank you. Truly, thank you. Thank you. And I know our Special Olympians will understand this. It takes a team to get anything done, right? And I'm blessed to work with the best team in America when it comes to public service. 3 of our cabinet secretaries join me here today. The real short one is Dr. Khalid Mumeen, who is behind us, our great education secretary. We're thankful he is here. We're thankful that Secretary Val Arkush is here from the Department of Human Services. And we are grateful for Secretary Nancy Walker at the Department of L&I, where OVR sits, one of the amazing agencies here in the Commonwealth. You know, I am blessed to get the chance to travel all around Pennsylvania every day. I'm going to, by the way, do my best not to get emotional during this here. I'm blessed to be able to go around to communities all across Pennsylvania and to meet people where they are, in rural, urban, suburban communities, people in the Southeast, the Northwest, all throughout Pennsylvania. And when I listen to Pennsylvanians, most folks just kind of want the same basic things in life. Right? They want good schools for their kids and grandkids. They want economic opportunity. They want safe communities. And they want the freedom to chart their own course and the opportunity to succeed. And they get frustrated, rightfully so, when they feel like barriers have been erected to that opportunity, to that real freedom, as Representative Benham referenced before. And let's face it, for too long, we've had powerful interests, or sometimes even government, erect those barriers and make it harder for people like Matt to be the amazing, wonderful person that he is and to be his wonderful self. Well, I believe in real freedom, and I believe in creating real opportunity. And for too long, the wonderful people in the IDA community all across Pennsylvania, they haven't had that opportunity. They haven't had it sometimes because we haven't funded things. They haven't had it sometimes because we've set them aside, not said, you're part of the crew, let's do this together. We've tried very hard to change that. And this budget is an incredibly important step in that process. I want you to know that this has been a personal journey for me over 2 decades. I remember sitting where Representative Benham sits today in the House of Representatives. And I remember year after year after year, leaders in the IDA community would show up in the Capitol, typically in June around budget time. Some would walk into my office. Some would wheel their way into my office. And they would ask for the basic services that they should have been guaranteed and afforded. They shouldn't have had to come to the Capitol and ask for help. But yet they did, because they were brave and tough and strong, and they were looking out for others in the community. And every year, when those decisions were made at the table, the IDA community was left behind. Their voices maybe weren't loud enough. They didn't maybe have the fancy lobbyists and powerful forces behind them that they had that others maybe had in those conversations. And every year, I'd vote on a budget, and there'd be a little piece of me that felt like, you know, we didn't do right by these folks. We should have done better. And I made a point in my own brain to say that if I was ever in a position where I could do something really significant to change the trajectory for the IDA community, I would do that. My first year as governor, I asked Secretary Arkush to go and study this issue really carefully and understand what was needed. We learned very quickly that a whole lot more resources were needed, and we needed to make sure that we did something about this waiting list that just seemingly kept increasing year after year after year. We also said that this time we were going to lock arms with the advocates that have been fighting this battle for decades, and we were going to help be their voice, and we were going to be their powerful force to get this done. For me, a whole lot changed about 9 or 10 months ago, though, when the Jennings family came to visit me. They're here right now, a mom, grandmom, and their son. They came to tell me the story of so many in Pennsylvania about how an adult child needed more and more supports that the Commonwealth wasn't able to provide, and it was falling to the family. A family where mom was doing her best, but was hit with cancer and had her own battle to deal with, and thank God she's doing well. Where grandmom was doing her best, but her best year after year after year was just getting a little harder each time. The Jennings family, to me, is indicative of the broader challenges in Pennsylvania. I walked out of that meeting that day, walked into my office, wiped the tears out of my eyes, grabbed my right hand, Dana Fritz, our chief of staff, and our deputy chief of staff, Lindsay Malden, and said, we are not going to go home next year from this budget until we do right by the Jennings and by other families all across Pennsylvania. They deserve better than what they've gotten. And as a result of us being able to build a bipartisan coalition, thanks to the voices of so many here who were willing to put in that work, notwithstanding the fact that the door had been shut on them for years in the past, they still were willing to do this hard work. Thanks to that coalition we built, bipartisan, all across Pennsylvania, with leaders like Representative Benham and others, we were able to pass historic funding in this year's budget, and most importantly, put us on a path to continuing that for years to come, so the IDA community is no longer left behind, no longer forgotten, but they are at the front of the line when it comes to services here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This funding, this historic funding, is going to allow us to take 1,500 people off the waiting list, and we're going to do even more next year. This allows us to increase funding so direct support professionals who are doing amazing work at BARC and elsewhere are going to have more dollars in their pockets so they can do the work that they love. We've been telling people who love to support people like Matt that they can't make a living doing that. That has changed as a result of this budget. There's more resources available for them to do this work. Folks, this is an incredibly meaningful day for me. This is an incredibly meaningful day for our team. I know for Representative Benham and other leaders in the legislature. I wanted today to thank all of you for fighting this fight for so many years, for doing the hard work that allowed us to reach this point here today. You know, you all are incredible people, and you were able to bring together a coalition of people who are now in a position to fight for you for years to come. I'm the only governor in the whole country with a divided legislature. Think about that for a minute. In these hyper-polarized times, we have a legislature, the only one in the country where one side's led by Republicans and the other side led by Democrats. And yet on this issue, Republicans and Democrats alike came together to say, we value the IDA community, and we're here to invest in the IDA community. And I want you to know that you matter. I want you to know that you have been heard, and I want you to know that you will always be in the front of the line when we go forward in our work here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you for teaching me so much over the years. Thank you for being here for us. I'm proud to stand with all of you. And with that, I want to sign this into law.
Just fill in if you would.
You're here. You're here. I had fun hanging out with you.
How you doing?
Well, we're here.
I'm Matt. Great job. Come on, let's get back.
How you doing? How you doing, pal? You good? We should name this after you. Do you need a chair? No, I got that. We're gonna move that away.
Thanks for the picture.
Oh man, I'm glad you're here. I remember seeing you at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You ready? Okay. No? I gotta sign this. Is it okay if I sign it, man? Here we go. So if I sign this, it's gonna be law, and we're gonna make sure we help a whole lot of good folks in Pennsylvania. Does that sound good? Here we go. Yeah. Do you want to sign it?
That was the sign. How cool is that?
Okay. There you go. Good job. Good job, Matt. Here we go. I know. Can I do this real quick, pal? Right. There we go.
All right.
Here, let's hold this up, Matt. Matt and I signed this, so now it's law. Here we go.
All right.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to give this to Representative Benham, okay? Is that all right? She's done awesome work on this. Rep, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. There we go. Thank you. So I'm going to go answer. Can I answer questions from here, guys? Is that all right? You can do that. Go ahead. Anything from the media?
No.
No? Fine with me.
That's good. Yeah, we should make him everybody.
Anybody?
Governor, you greeted everybody here, even on the budget report today, saying how happy you are that they're here. How important is it to know, for them to know that you're here and you're going to continue to be there for them?
Look, I love these folks, and this is a two-way street. They've taught me a lot over the years. They've challenged me a lot over the years. And I'm in a position now to stand up and fight for them and give them a voice and make sure that they have the resources that they need. And I'm going to continue to do that work for years to come. This is a beginning. It's a huge beginning. This is a beginning, and we got a lot of more work to do in years to come, and I'll be doing it alongside them.
Off-topic question. So certainly we've been hearing a lot of pressure being put on President Biden to drop out of the race, and just wondering, yesterday we heard Adam Schiff come forward. Just wondering what you have to say about that, and your name is certainly out there as a vice presidential candidate. Could Pennsylvania be at risk of losing our governor?
Yeah, I love serving as governor, and I've made clear where I stand on the presidential race. It's the president's decision to make. He's made it, and I think today is the day to celebrate what we accomplished here in Pennsylvania. We're showing the nation that here in Pennsylvania, we know how to get stuff done for everybody, and that's what we're doing. You good? All right? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Of course.